Hello and welcome to my 15,000 subscriber special. For 15,000 subscribers, I wanted to do something really special, and I figured I would get a bit retrospective. I would talk about a lot of my content in retrospect and how I feel about it. Mainly because I think I've improved a lot as a content creator from about a year or 2 years ago, so I thought it'd be cool to look at the 5 best and 5 worst Nothing is Scary videos. A few rules for this video. Videos that came out before the year 2022 are immediately disqualified. This is mainly because this is when I was getting my footing in the door, and I just kind of didn't know what I was doing, so I was just spread fire randomly uploading basic shit posts, and honestly, this was the time where the channel was more for me than for me to actually express my interests, and what I mean by that is if there was a clip from a TV show that I thought was funny, I'd upload it so that I could send the link to like 4 people, and stuff like that. Just in general, the channel was low effort, and I wasn't really trying to get anywhere. I would have disqualified 2022 as well, but there are like 1 or 2 videos that are worth talking about, and we'll get to that when we get to that. Any video that I have privated is also immediately disqualified. There's like 3 videos in total that I've had to private over the years because the videos were just that bad, but at the same time, they'd be boring if I included them in this video because people who are new to the channel don't know they exist, and people who have been on the channel for long enough to know these videos already know why they're bad. These are videos that were just poorly researched or not well thought out, or, again, early enough into my creating career that I just didn't put them together correctly. Like, there was one video where I talked about someone falsely accusing Pico of hacking, and the entire video I was misgendering Pico because I didn't know that Pico went by she, her pronouns, and that was kind of like a big mistake. And in general, that video is really shitty because I'm talking about a Geometry Dash exposal, and yet I showed Minecraft footage? I don't know what I was doing. Stuff like that is completely disqualified. Shitposts are also disqualified. This should be pretty self-explanatory, but joke videos are joke videos. They're not serious, and so of course they're gonna be rather bad. Any completion video, layout showcase, or just generally me beating or showcasing a level is immediately disqualified. Anything that is part of an ongoing series, so stuff like 10 levels of each difficulty, which is like the 10 best easy demons video, those are disqualified. Stuff like ranking the map packs is disqualified because these are series that I am actively working on and are not finished. If they are finished, there's probably a supercut of them, so yeah. And finally, intentionally low effort videos are disqualified. This is stuff like layering all 3 of Pop-Off's Slaughterhouse completions. That's disqualified because I didn't put any effort into that. Rule of thumb, it has to be a high effort, well produced, or at least attempting to be well produced Nothing is Scary video, and that is how we're going to move forward. This is a very important video for me to make because with the bad videos, a lot of people think I still stand by a lot of my old videos, not realizing that I'm pretty new to this high effort content thing, and that for a while I didn't know what I was doing. I'd say I only started to properly know what I was doing within maybe the last year or so. Yeah, I'm still fairly new to this, and it's gonna be pretty cathartic to finally tear into some videos that I've made that I personally hate, because I hate some of my own content. I really do. But on the other end of things, it's also gonna be pretty nice to actually take a step back and appreciate the work that I think I have done a good job with. And I also want to say, on the end of the good videos thing, I don't want to sound self-gratifying or like I have an ego. This is more from the perspective of I'm proud of how these videos came out, more so than me telling you what my best videos are. I expect people to disagree with me on this list, but yeah. Let's get into it. I genuinely think that my Crimson Clutter video is one of the cooler videos I've made narratively, and I know I said earlier that completion videos were disqualified, but the one exception to that is if the completion video goes beyond being a completion video, because I've done 2 videos like this where the completion video goes from being just a video of me beating the level to a full-on narrative and story, and it's something I plan to continue to do for harder completions here on out, because it's just fun to do this, right? It's a cool way of making people interested in the completion, because just uploading Crimson Clutter 100% would have been very boring, but turning this into a narratively driven project was legitimately cool. And I'm proud of what I managed to do with this video, because what I effectively did is I took the Crimson Clutter completion and I used it for this narrative purpose of basically this idea that Crimson Clutter is not just the definition of insanity, you know, the old joke of insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting different results. It's that Crimson Clutter is the cause of insanity, and that doing the same thing over and over expecting different results is not how you define insanity, but rather an explanation as to how people go insane in the first place, and that therefore Crimson Clutter is a catalyst to insanity itself. It's a really cool narrative idea, and I love the way I did it. I used it to make showing my end deaths and my progress runs way more entertaining, and in generally, I just think that I did a good job with this video. It's fun. I think it's a really fun video, and I'm really proud of how this one turned out. It is kind of funny though, because if you look at the little YouTube time bar, there's a highlight, and that highlight skips all of what I would consider to be the best part of the video and skips straight to the completion. And that's kind of funny, because that tells me a lot of people didn't watch the narrative part and they just skipped it. But yeah, I will say the thing that knocked this down a peg is I do make a pretty egregious mistake, and that's I said that I was stuck at the end for months. And when you die to the end of Crimson Clutter, you don't get back there for a while. In my case, I've been sitting here for months with a new best towards the dual mini wave at the end. That was a misspeak. I meant to say that I had been playing the level for months. I wasn't stuck on the end for that long. I was stuck on the end for maybe a month. Yeah, that was like a little bit of a misspeak, and that does eat away at me as a content creator, because whenever you make a mistake like that, viewers don't care, but as a creator, it eats at me, because it's like, oh, it's such a dumb mistake, but the rest of the video is perfect, and I'm really proud of that. A lot of you are probably expecting me to put one of the Twitter drama videos on here, and if you don't know what the Twitter drama videos are, they are basically videos where I would discuss a Twitter drama, and I don't really do that anymore because I don't like Twitter. I think Twitter drama is often very stupid and not worth discussing. And so I wanted to pick one of these videos to put here because they're all so bad and there's no way I could cover all of them on here. I figure I just lump them all as one entry. So yeah, all of the Twitter drama videos, that's the number 5 spot. And you could argue that the way this works in practicality is that everything 5 and lower, those are all different Twitter drama videos. So discussing these all at once, why are these so bad? To put it simply, it's the lack of passion. Oftentimes there would be some dumb Twitter drama and the entire video would be me voicing my thoughts. They're bad because these videos are literally pointless. I don't argue anything that matters here. I don't say anything worth saying. I made an entire video talking about the controversy of whether or not Place should be rated. I made an entire video talking about the controversy that Ascension to Heaven supposedly has interchangeable parts. And basically, these videos were literally just me giving my thoughts on what Twitter was bitching about that week. And that's boring. Especially when, if I want to give my thoughts on a Twitter drama, I can just do it on Twitter, where you'd actually expect me to do that. So yeah, almost all of these videos are unlisted and shoved into the videos I'm not proud of playlist because... oh my god, why did I give a shit? My Tidal Wave video sure is a controversial one, and it makes sense why. It's a video of me tearing into a level that pretty much the entirety of the community likes, because I consider this to be one of the ugliest looking levels on the list. And the reason this is one of my best videos, in my opinion, is just simply how efficiently I argued my points. I feel like I backed things up with footage pretty well, I showed things well, I also managed to add a little bit of flair share of comedy, making my actual criticisms funny in some places. Generally, it's just a video that I'm really proud of. I'm proud of the way I structured it, and I just think it came together really, really nicely. Even if you disagree and you like Tidal Wave as a level, you gotta admit that I did a pretty decent job at least presenting how I feel. And the funny part is I chose to remove some of my more controversial critiques from the video and tried to make the video more grounded in an effort to make people less angry, which I feel like, unlike most scenarios where I do stuff like that, I feel like it was a good idea with this video. But it's funny because I had an entire segment that I cut where I was talking about how the level being forced to be top 1, because Tidal Wave, if you don't know, was actually buffed. The level in its original state was not top 1, and it was buffed later. I don't know when in the creation process that happened. It could have been towards the end, it could have been in the layout phase, but Tidal Wave was originally not a top 1. And what's funny is you can tell by looking at the level, because there will be several points where spikes and air deco, especially the arrows, will just be covered up by the spikes because they were just kind of put there afterwards, and that kind of genuinely shows my issue with the level. But also, I just chose not to include that because I feel like people would have gotten madder if I said that Tidal Wave shouldn't have been a top 1. I still think that the video came out really good, and I am very proud of it. I ironically have this lower because I do feel like I held back a little bit, and I could have gone way harder on this level. But other than that, I think it's a good video. So a lot of you probably know about my current iceberg series because it's kind of a meme that part 3 of the Ultimate Geometry Dash Iceberg has taken an irrationally long time to make because of the amount of effort I'm putting into it. But a lot of you might not know that the Ultimate Geometry Dash Iceberg is not the first Geometry Dash Iceberg I covered. In fact, I created my own Geometry Dash Iceberg and made like a 3-hour video covering it. And yeah, I have mixed feelings about this video. Similar to the Twitter videos, I don't necessarily think it's badly made, I just wouldn't have made it the way I did today, because I was heavily influenced by the Wendigoon conspiracy theory iceberg, so when I was making it, I really wanted it to get more abstract and weird and, I guess, conspiratorial the farther down you got, and as a result, I just started making up bullshit, like, the editor is a quantum computer, where a guy who does not understand quantum physics and quantum computing tries to explain to you what a qubit is and suggests that you could somehow create a qubit inside of a computer that is not capable of using qubits. Considering nowadays I actually do understand how quantum computing works, I was just making shit up, bro. I don't know what the fuck I was on. Yeah, I was being way too tryhard with this video, and because of that, I don't like it. But at the same time, it was a good stepping stone for me because I feel like this video showed some kind of promise that I'm capable of making high effort videos, and because this was so early into my career, I feel like it's fine, but it still, in my opinion, is weird enough to make the list. I don't really have that much to say about or justify why I've put the really fun baseball review on here, but I will just simply say that it's one of those videos that the more time passes, whenever I go back and kind of reevaluate it, I just end up liking it more, because you can tell that this video was made out of a place of passion, because the whole story behind why I made this video is that someone on a stream just told me, hey, you should play the most disliked platformers, and I played it, and expecting it to be bad, I was still floored. This was a really, really funny experience, and honestly, I view this critique more as a funny, like, sharing my experience thing than anything, because this was a legitimately funny level to discover. Like, it's bad, but I find the way that it's bad really entertaining and funny, and in a way, I guess you could argue that I kind of appreciate the level for that. Ranking every single top 1 demon was my 10,000 subscriber special, and I'm gonna be honest, up until this video, which I am putting a shit ton of effort into, my subscriber specials were rushed and not that good. I viewed my subscriber specials on the lens of, I really want to thank you guys for, you know, getting me to where I am, and that's obviously very valuable to me, because that is a genuine statement. I do genuinely want to thank you guys for where I am. but I focused so much on the thank you part of the video that I didn't really focus on the video part of the video. And so it was a common issue that a lot of my subscriber specials, I just did not do a good job doing the thing that I was doing. And you can definitely see that here, because the entire reason I made this video my 10,000 subscriber special was because it was heavily recommended at the time. People wanted to know what my thoughts were about the top ones, but here's the thing. I'm not really a top one guy. I'm not really an extreme demon guy. I don't put levels on a pedestal just because of their difficulty. If I'm looking at a level like Amethyst, I'm not thinking about it,
whoa, look at how hard this is, guys. This is the hardest thing ever. It's so cool.
No, I'm comparing Amethyst to everything in the game, you know? How does Amethyst as a level stack up against stuff like Change of Scene, I Spy with My Little Eye, Death Moon, Eternal Vehemence, Nine Circles, Acropolis, you know? Just like every good level in the game. Because I really gotta ask myself, regardless of how good I am at the game and how easy levels get, would I rather play a level that starts with this click, or would I rather enjoy a level like Future Funk? You know what I mean? So yeah, I've never really been a top one guy. I've never really cared about the competitive scene, and when I do care about it, it's usually because I care about the community as a whole, and I want the game to be healthy. So if something like the CBF controversy happens, I might get a little concerned. But for the most part, I've never actually cared about the difficulty of a level. If I like a top one, I like it because I think it's a good level. Stuff like Future Demoness by Majako is what I think of when I think of a top one. So I'm not the right person to make a video ranking every single top one demon. And yeah, I just summed up the problem with the video. The thing is, the video's fine. Like, you could watch it, and I don't think it's a horrible experience. It's just everything in the video I vehemently disagree with. With the exception of the latter half. I think that when I get to the positive end, I am really, you know, happy with how the second half of the video turned out. But it's just weird choices with the ranking that I just don't agree with now. Like, one thing about the video that really bugs me is that AOD is the worst level on the list. Now, keep in mind, I fucking hate Abyss of Darkness. I think it is a fucking bad level. But also, a lot of that hate comes from, I don't like the style of gameplay in the level, like, even if it's playtested well and it works well, I just don't like this weird, amalgamated XN challenge lists gameplay thing that it is. It's just not a type of gameplay that interests me, no matter how easy you make it. It's just not my thing. And then you factor in that I don't like the song, and it's like, yeah, of course I don't like this level. But nowadays, I do a lot better job at looking at levels as a full package and trying to acknowledge the good they provide. And it's like, if I were to make this list today, I'd probably say Element 111RG is the worst extreme. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean I disagree with the entire video. Just because it's controversial doesn't mean it's bad, and there are some things in the ranking that I will double down on, and I do genuinely think. Like, one of the parts in the video, the ranking goes Tidal Wave, Bloodlust, Bloodbath, and then Sonic Wave. I will say, though, the video is definitely not all bad, and there is a decision I made with this video that I think made it work a lot better. Here's the thing. When it comes to levels, the thing I value most is the gameplay. However, if for whatever reason I'm talking about a level that I'm not capable of playing, you know, like a top one, which I'm not capable of beating or touching even, I will probably care a lot about the artistic expression more than the gameplay. And I feel that if you're making a top one, you probably should care a lot about invoking that feeling of a top one. Because good top ones, in my opinion, feel like top ones even when they're not top ones. Take a level like Bloodlust. As much as I dislike it, that level has fucking aura. You look at Bloodlust, and even if you're not familiar with the game, this is the case. If you look at Bloodlust, this is a top one, right? Like, this is the hardest level in the game. You could just tell. It just has that aura, and it's funny because That means when it's not top 1 and it's not the hardest level in the game, when you're climbing up the ranks and improving at the game, getting to a level like Bloodlust, even if it is not the hardest level in the game, is gonna feel like this massive milestone, and you're gonna feel like a fucking badass for tearing through this level. This is why, even though it's not that threatening nowadays, levels like Ice Carbon Diablo X still feel like such a vehement threat. It's because of the fact that it plays into what it is. It is themed around its difficulty. It's because of that the decision to care about how well the level works as a top 1, and the decision to make Slaughterhouse the best top 1, even though in reality my favorite top 1 is Future Demonist by Majako, I think it works out well. You know what I mean? I think that Slaughterhouse deserves the spot more because it works better as a top 1. And the fact that I even have a decent opinion on this while still not giving a shit, I think is why this is not the worst video on the list. To reiterate, the video itself isn't the problem, it's just how I look at it in retrospective. To me personally, I do not like this video, more so because this is not something I would make nowadays. The history of the hardest 9 circles level is a video I put way more effort into than I realistically needed to, all things considered, but I put so much effort into the research, the fact-checking, cross-referencing verification dates, all that kind of stuff, all to present a timeline of what the top 9 circles level was. And I'm ridiculously proud of how this video has turned out, even though, due to the nature of what the video is, it becomes more and more outdated as the new 9 circles top 1 keeps getting dethroned. Seriously, Cursed, what the fuck is Subsuming Vortex? How did you manage to do this? I think that the decision to include unrateds and extras was a really smart one, as it made the end of the video way more interesting, and generally I like this video. I'm really proud of it. Well, there is one video on my channel that is worse than Why I Hate the Demon List. Why I Hate the Demon List is my most boring and meandering video I have ever made, and it feels like I really didn't make any points in it. It's sad because this was one of the first of 2 videos that really got me to blow up. It was this and why the rate standards suck. And I think the rate standards video is fine, it's held up well enough. This video has not. Dude, I didn't even properly explain why I hate the demon list. That's not a good start. So to even explain why this video is so bad, I have to actually explain why I used to hate the demon list. And no, I don't hate the list anymore, because the things I hated about it are not the list's fault. Yeah, that's another thing. I blamed the list for community problems, so yeah. But the things I used to hate the list for are 2 things. Firstly, I don't like the fact that a lot of people's motivation to beat levels is purely just the fact that it's on the list, or it has list points, because what would happen is you'd see a really good player pick up a level because they gotta get those list points, and then next thing you know, you have a video from them where it's literally just them bitching about how bad the level is, and the whole time you're just thinking, why don't you just not play it? List points do not have that much value. They are not worth it. Why the fuck are you playing such a shit level for a fucking point system that isn't even official? Like, is it really so bad to just play a level that's at 151 on the demon list? No, you have to force yourself to play level 150, which you don't like. I don't get it. I really never understood. But the other thing I hated about the list, and I don't agree with this one now, but this was the other thing I hated about it back then, is that back then I wanted to see people use the list as a way to improve at the game. Like, if they got to level 150, they could beat 150 onwards, but I was basically upset that the levels on the list had gotten too hard and that they wouldn't extend the list. Now, those sound like, well, not valid complaints, they sound like complaints that are actually grounded, like at least I know what I'm complaining about, but I did such a piss-poor job at explaining those complaints that the video is basically like 20 minutes of me talking about how Wolf Step is slowly falling off the list. Like, I'm basically just tracking how long it took for Wolf Step to fall off the list. That's the video. And then after that, I start complaining about how people only care about levels because they're on the list and only make levels for the list. And you get quotes like this. What people don't care about is which level is the indefinite hardest. Who cares if Acheron is top 1 or Slaughterhouse is top 1? Yeah, see, what I was trying to say is that people care too much about top ones, and that I don't get why so much value is put on the top one, because I don't understand why beating number 2 on the list is seen as so much less impressive than beating the number 1 on the list. No top player can just choose to not beat the number 1 because they don't like the level. Like right now, as I record this, if a top player said, you know what, I'm not going to beat Thinking Space 2, kind of a shit level, people would riot. They'd get pissed off. And I just think that that's really, really stupid. But because I did such a piss poor job with this video, it sounded like I was just saying that nobody cares about the top 1, which, God, I wish that was true, but no, that's definitely not true. And overall, that's just how the whole video is, and on top of all that, it takes me so long to explain my points that it just drags. This video sucks. I fucking hate it. And now, for the number 1 best Nothing is Scary video, I have gone with my 10-year anniversary video. Yeah, this video is a bit self-serving. It is basically just talking about my personal history with the game and content creation, but why I love this video so much is just the presentation of the video. And I don't know, it's just a video that I'm really proud of because I feel like I can go to this video and watch it and reminisce in the same way I would just in my own head reminisce about my history with the game. And a lot of people resonated with my story and my history with this game, which meant a lot. But beyond all of that, the video is just entertaining. I have some funny jokes in there. The story is just generally really good. I'm really proud of this video, and there's a reason it's my channel trailer. And as for my worst video, I have to go with the Karma L ranking. I already made a whole video talking about why this thing is so bad, but like, genuinely, I can't get over just how fucking misinformed I was and how poorly put together this video is. It's bad in every sense of the word. I didn't understand basic knowledge about Karma L's levels, and nowadays I disagree with the ranking entirely. That being said, I've already talked about why the video is bad. You can go watch that video. That being said, I think it's time I reveal something. I have been lying to all of you. This isn't the 15,000 subscriber special. The real 15,000 subscriber special will be uploaded shortly after this video. In my next video, I will be re-ranking every Karma L level. I hope to see you all there. Shout out to my channel members, NothingIsScary. If you would like to have your name read out at the end of my videos, all you have to do is become a member. Becoming a member financially supports me and assists me in making more content.